Welcome, aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here, Kona astrologer, scratching out a living in our modern world. We're going to do the third week in July for you on the sky mirror, coming right up. And I've got some interesting things to share with you. I was in my teens and I had built a little bedroom out of a kind of a garage out in the backyard, and this is one of the first things I put up on my wall, and it's been on my wall and someplace around me ever since. I guess we're all kind of imprisoned here, incarnated in the flesh on this earth. Well, maybe, but everybody makes their own prison, huh? Question is whether you see mud or you see stars. That is free will. Free will is in your attitude. That's what this sign's all about. Not whether you're in prison or not. That's part of the karmic ride that you embarked on when you got in that body that has that chart. But whether you see mud or stars, that's free will. Just speaking of karma, the older you get, the more obvious it is you reap what you sow. And if you know, maybe you believe in heaven and hell in the Christian way, that's just the extremes. If you believe in karma, think of what's going on with all of these politicians who stand up there and deny global warming. They won't look into it. No, it's politically advantageous. Their friends are afraid they'll lose their money. And what are they doing? This is what they're doing. Used to be an old joke, all those abortions that are going on, you know, that's Hitler trying to reincarnate again and again and again. Every time he does, he goes through an abortion. They won't let him come onto the world. So I don't know what's going to happen to these global warming opponents, but it's not good. It's not good what they're doing. It's not good what's going to happen downstream of these ignorant and horrible acts. Let's take a look at the sky mirror, see what's going on. We're out of that horrible month at Grand Cross. There's some good things here. Look at Jupiter is trining Pluto. We're still in discovery. I mean, wonderful discovery still going on. Deep diving discoveries from Pluto, things under the ground. For you, the sun is here at 120 degrees, a trine to Mars right at in the next few days for you. Good time. You'll find it's easy to get out and fix things and do things physical and be a hero. Comes easily. Jupiter is there sextiling the sun. Aha! All I got to do is clean out that gutter. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of wisdom floating around here about what we really have to do to protect and what we're really protecting. We still got Saturn up here, though, squaring Neptune. What is that? Guys in suits and ties, bankers, politicians, old guys with gray hair. They're all confused. What do we do? Saturn squaring Neptune. The priests are going to be angry at us. The evangelicals. My goodness. But it's their own confusion. A lot of this is because of their own guilt. And they're stuck with it. It's too bad. Let's get down to your world a little bit. They're in the moon around the edge of this planetary pattern, and as it makes angles to various planets, these are the people, the actors on the stage, it changes the mood of the times. Your mood changes regular and all the people around you. Now it's not your chart, so you could be off a little bit here or there. You notice that everybody doesn't change at exactly the same time, but it's kind of close. Like if you're on the Thursday show, the moon went by Mars on July 14th. Now that was, you know, in the noontime and the early afternoon, and it sextiled Jupiter a little bit earlier, and so there was aha and laughing, and here's very macho and physical, and it trined the sun, and so, you know, this is a very nice Thursday afternoon. I hope you got something done. And what you realize is that you can put your Martian instincts to work to protect all of us. Whatever you're doing, there's rewards here. Friday, the moon goes into Sagittarius, and here's Venus and Mercury. Sweetness, light, honey, nice talk, loving kids, loving pets. It's Friday morning. What a shame if you have to go to work. Try to stay in bed late and enjoy this time. It's going to change as you get to Friday night. The moon goes by Saturn. It just gets increasingly colder and tighter, and we're all tied up with rules and regulations and laws. You know, it's so easy to put laws in, it seems, and so hard to get out. Here we were 40 years ago, the drug war, and people know the difference, and they still can't get out of it. Try to get a speed limit sign that's much too low, make it bigger. Oh boy, it's harder to change it than it is to put it in. But here's confusion. Here's Britain, all voting in confusion. What they're going to do. Here's all these politicians admitting, they admit they're confused. Good for them. But most of them are going to strut around and like preachers, and never mind. You're going to see it all Friday night. Yep. So, you know, it's the time of the heroes, and organized physical stuff kind of gets lost Friday night. Saturday, you'll still be feeling a little lost. Overdoing it in the middle of the day, the moon squares Jupiter. Too much laughing, too much noise. Saturday night late. Here's 9-10 o'clock. This is depending on your location. And the moon trines Uranus. And there's some common sense comes in. Yes, the mind. We're all in la catch. I am another you. There is a universal mind. Common sense is there. All you got to do is relax a little bit and look inside, and you'll see it. Or the media will show it up Saturday night. You know, go to the internet. Here's the thing. Sunday morning, here's the old full moon point. It's 29 Sag. So early Sunday morning, there's going to be some wobble. Because see, the full moon happened here, and then the moon went all the way around, and it comes back to this point right here, kind of accumulates all the emotional unbalances in a way. So, you know, things will be a little out of proportion Sunday morning. But the moon goes into Capricorn after breakfast, and it sobers everybody up, and they feel better about it. And in Monday morning here's a nice sextile to Neptune real early. You know, get up at 5, 6 in the morning. There'll be birds and colors and neat things. And, oh yeah, Neptune is finally, you know, speaking out. However, here's Saturn. And Saturn is in square pretty tight. So, which comes first? Saturn's at 10, Neptune's at 11. So first you're going to feel Saturn. You're going to feel restricted. You're going to feel like you don't want those responsibilities. Then you go off and have a beer and play some music. That's the feeling of Monday morning. Moon goes by Pluto here in the middle of the day. This is early afternoon for us in Hawaii. And there's powerful new investigations going on and deep diving, and put on your Sherlock Holmes suit. It trines to Jupiter at 20 degrees. And that's right, where is it? I didn't mark it. There it is. Right there. That's late Monday night. That's 10, 11 o'clock. Midnight. Aha! Now I see it clear. And it leads you into heroic actions. Tuesday morning, here's a sextile to Mars. And you can go out and do the physical stuff. Now look out, because when it sextiles Mars, there's also a square to Uranus. And you might want to get the work done, but the battery could run out and the electricity could be out, and there's interruptions. You know, because Mars and Uranus are on this interesting 150 degree angle from 24 Scorpio to 24 Aries. It's a seesaw. You either get Mars and forget Uranus, or you get Uranus and forget Mars. So this is a time to do the physical work. Get Mars, forget Uranus. TV's out anyway. Tuesday morning. There's a square to, or an opposition. Oh, here's the full moon. Right here. This is the next full moon. See, the moon went all the way around, returned to its place here, and then 2.5 days later, we get another cycle begins. So in between here and here, there's kind of a blank spot where you're done with the karma of the prior month, and you're kind of in limbo a little bit, time for reviewing it, and then here you got to start another cycle. The sun and the moon, oppose. Mom and Dad have a meeting and they decide something here. It's Tuesday afternoon, the 19th of July, and the moon's in Aquarius. As you go into Wednesday, moon shifts into Aquarius. Oops, excuse me, the moon was in Capricorn there, wasn't it? The full moon's at 29 Capricorn. So it's businesslike and sobering, this moon. And it has constructive stuff in it. And here's constructive Saturn saying, okay, let's get organized here. It's Wednesday, the moon's in Aquarius, July 20th. And about the middle of the day, there's a nice sextile to Saturn, and you're getting organized. Make a plan. Money, time, that's what it takes. Wednesday, the moon's still in Aquarius, and there's a problem with Mars and Uranus again. This time it goes the other way. Moon squares Mars, sextiles Uranus. You got to give up the physical work. The heck with Mars. Go for Uranus. Turn on the TV. The electrical, the machine will do it. So this is a difficult time because you could, if you're using something hot and sharp, look out, you could be distracted by loud noises or something and get nipped Thursday morning. Turn on the internet and educate your higher mind. Don't get angry. Moon squaring Mars, ask yourself what you're protecting. Friday, July 22nd, the moon shifts into Pisces. Feels a lot different. It's more glamorous, colorful, sensitive, musical, but confusing. And here Friday night on the 22nd, the moon goes by Neptune. You could feel lost, you could feel dreamy, you could feel inspired, or just plain wobbly and a little drunk and confused. Yeah, and here's Saturn over there ready to get you. So I'm going down to the bar, and you park someplace and they towed your car while you were there. So look, these ideas aren't necessarily good ones. The confusion could get you in trouble Friday night. Don't drink alcohol. It just numbs the good part of the brain. At least pot opens up the good part of the brain, but alcohol numbs it. Saturday morning, you're in for discovery about 2, 3 in the morning. The moon sextiles Pluto. You wake up suddenly, where's my car? Saturday, the moon opposes Jupiter. You realize everybody overdid it. I don't know what they're overdoing, but there's too much of it. And too much noise. And people just think they can do whatever they want, and the heck with you, huh? You get a little defensive. And you can actually fix some stuff here Saturday afternoon with the trine to Mars. Get physical again. On Sunday, the moon shifts into Aries. And here's a nice trine to the sun. You can get a plan going. Start making a nice plan Sunday morning. Get ambitious. Sunday at night here after dinner, here's a trine to Saturn. Well organized. Your plan is crystallized. Good for you. On Monday morning, here's a nice trine to Venus, and so you can feel kind of lazy, but look out, there's little panicky things here. About the time you're feeling kind of sexy and lazy Monday morning, bling, the bell goes off, the siren hits, somebody's horn is honking. So there's really can't get no satisfaction here, Sunday night or Monday morning. Can we talk about animals? The older you get, the more telepathic you get, the more your mammal mind opens up to telepathy, and you find yourself in silent, no words, communication with animals and babies and critters that don't use words. Part of the enlightenment process of getting older, huh? Like St. Francis. My family historically, all the way back, always has cats and dogs and all the animals we could have on board to try to open up that telepathy more. Very Scandinavian thing. So I recall one history thing where animals screaming as they were killed or hurt, and people thought it was like the wheel squeaking on because it needed grease. Didn't cause any pain. Oh no. Well, we've had some moral progress, and we're having a lot more. And the really good news is it's right in front of us. Moral progress. And here it is. It's in the Sunday paper. Now this is all about a no-kill shelter. And the good news is that there's somebody doing something about it. And the bad news is that here on the Big Island, we kill. The Humane Society is supposed to save animals, and just like a lot of our other institutions do the opposite. The bank steals your money, the police make you unsafe. The Humane Society kills 3,000 dogs and 5,000 cats annually. Yuck. Well, the really good news is a hero came to the Big Island, and I'll show you more of that. But what I want to give you right now is the email for a meeting July 16th in Waimea. If you're on a Thursday show, that's coming Saturday. Those of you that feel strongly about this, I do. I feel very strongly about this. And if you're interested in going to the meeting in Waimea on Saturday, email here Dolena, Maya Dolena at Gmail. You can get info at the No Kill Advocacy Center.org /shelter-reform. So now this meeting in Waimea is a really big thing, because the more people that get together here, we're going to do something about this. And we need to do something. It's locked up now in courts and things. But the essence of it is we don't have to do this. No. Here's a bunch of heroes. They went to a meeting I didn't even know happened. And the man that showed up there, a real hero, is like a traveling dog and pony show. And he goes around and shows you how you can do things to change the situation. The man is Nathan Winograd, and he says, no, you don't need to do this. It's ridiculous. The Hawaii Island Humane Society, they left some empty seats for these people, but they didn't show up to this meeting. You know, and what happens is these struggles are nothing new. That's what this man says. This is happening all over the U.S. And what happens is the entrenched shelters that are doing all this killing and stuff, here's the hero, Nathan Winograd, you know, they're blaming their high euthanasia rates on the community. He told a room full of people, we've heard all the excuses. There are too many animals. If only people were responsible. How dare you criticize people who have dedicated their lives to saving animals? And yet here they are, killing 3,200 dogs every year, 5,300 cats every year. They're dedicating their lives to saving animals. Anyway, need to do something about this, and you don't have to invent it all yourself. Many other cities and counties have done this, and there's a path. In fact, he came here to teach us about, actually he said there was 17 steps that he required, that 17 steps to a no-kill equation. No kill? Whoa! Look at San Francisco uses dial-a-cat. Yes, Austin has adopted sick animals out to people who want to heal them. But you can order a cat by telephone in San Francisco. This is great stuff. You can make laws preventing them from killing these animals. Now look, we have a background here. I'm going to show you something. This is my son Michael. And when I got my video license from Naleo and began to do this show 20 years ago, I had to go take all these classes, and I asked them, is there any age limit? No. They said. So I took Michael, and he's a really smart kid. I mean, really smart. Just took right to it, learned all the editing gear, learned the camera, learned the whole thing. The result was we decided to start a shared show, and it was called Adopt a Pet. Adopt a Pet was a 1-hour show, and all we did was we took 3 or 4 kids, Michael's buddies, down to the Humane Society shelter in Kona, and we just marched in there with the camera from Naleo and set it up. Actually, it was my camera. Now I remember, I bought one, the same one Naleo used that we trained on. Anyway, we took all these kids in there. People were there, very nice, and they let us go into, they have a kitten cage, which is like a small room, about 10 by 10, with all these kittens playing in there. We let the kids loose with the kittens and just started videotaping. And so we videotaped an hour of these little kids playing with the puppies and the kittens and the big dogs and the little dogs, and we'd walk around in the shelter and videotape individual animals, you know, and stuff. And the show was a wild hit. It was such a hit that they started showing it in Hilo, even though it was about the Kona shelter. And the people in Hilo loved it too. It was the first furry show, we called it. And there was no dialogue. We never said anything. We just went in there, adopt a pet, you know, and here's their pets, and here's kids playing with them. And woo, it was neat. It went for about 6 months, and they started adopting more pets. But then a new manager came on board the Humane Society, a lady, and she saw us doing this, and you know, we never asked anybody. We just marched in there and started doing it. We didn't ask. Anyway, this new manager comes in and says, hey, you know, guys, it's great what you're doing, but what I want you to do is I want you to clear all of your communications, anything you say or put in print or any signage with me. So essentially she wanted to write dialogue for our Adopt a Pet show, and she wasn't very nice about it. So we walked out and the show stopped. And it must have been evident what happened at the shelter, because a few months later this lady, this new manager, spent money and bought something from the mainland that had, you know, for shelters, that had a lot of emphasis on get your pet fixed. It wasn't really adopt the thing out. And it was all cartoons and stuff, and she spent money on it and ran that, and it went for several months, and then it was POW too. And we never saw Adopt a Pet again. And we clearly need to do that again. Thank you, Michael, and your buddies. There was a bunch of them. Every week it was a little different. It was a weekly show because we had slightly different kids would show up and go play with the kittens. Wonderful. Yep, I'm an advocate volunteer. I go out at dusk and I got about 5 homeless cats. 2 of them very feral. The others are homeless. And I feed them every day. And one of them I needed to get fixed, and the advocate people came along, caged them, took them off, had her fixed. She's leading a much happier life now. Here's a real hero. Here's more heroes in the audience. And some of the heroes here, well, let's see, before I get ahead of myself and run out of time, I want to give you this again. I don't have a car, and I'm not getting around as good as I should, and I got other fish to fry. Or I'd go to this meeting and I'd really get behind this. You know, so, you know, email mayadolena@gmail. Find out, July 16th is Saturday. Get off your duff, go to this meeting. This is a planning meeting. You know, it's a planning meeting, folks, to plan how to get our shelter up to speed. And there are lots of heroes out there Here's some of them. Bridget. Here's Cheryl. Here's, anyway, be a hero. Go to that meeting. Get involved. You know, we want the no-kill shelter. No more of this institutionalized humane society. Shabai. A viewer, Clarissa, sent me this. Came from the Scientific American. And there's an article in there about how human beings eat other animals and things. And here's cats. And I said, they don't eat cats. Well, I followed up on this. And according to this, some parts of China, they eat cats. And I didn't quite believe it. And also Cameroon. So I followed up on it. And Switzerland. The only real, what happens is this article throws cats and dogs into the same. Whenever they talk about it, it's dogs and cats. And everybody eats dogs. You got to understand what the animal eats is the way it tastes. And cats only taste protein. All the cats, the tigers, the lions, all of them. Dogs, pigs, rats, people are omnivores. They eat everything, which means they're much more handy to raise. If you had to raise a tiger, my goodness, 50 pounds of meat a day. No. Anyway, the meat tastes different on cats. The only place they use it, they have to marinate it. And I don't know about these reports of Swiss farmers. I'm not sure I believe that. And every place else in this article, I saw cats and dogs, cats and dogs, cats and dogs. And when you get right down on it, it's dogs. Dog meat's pretty good. It depends what you give the dogs to eat, doesn't it? Anyway, thank you, Clarissa. There are a few people that appear to eat cats, but, it's a very fuzzy thing. And when I researched it, this is a psychologist writing this stuff. And he's mostly interested in the taboos. But, a nice thing to get into. I think cat meat tastes so much different. You got to really disguise it. Here's a website where you can get the TV show, the last 4 or 5. SkyMareAstrology.com/TV. If you leave the /TV off, you just get the app. I'm going to do a lot more on this app in the future. Eyes open.